Hello guys, welcome back. I think Odin is cringing around the house. The Norse gods scattered to the four winds. I cleaned Loki's altar, the one out in the hallway today, and it was definitely a thing of cleaning your altar, but you keep your mouth shut, or this is all gonna be outside. Because I've had enough of you and your brother. It's enough. And I had the news on it. I generally don't listen to the news. I listen to a couple days worth of news as I work because it took like an hour, couple hours to do this. And last night they got a surprise, and I got a surprise, and I don't know where this came from, but you know, as I was fighting the call of the pagan god, you all know this. I tried every flavor of Christianity possible. And I figured I just had to find the right one and these gods would go away. Southern Baptist / faith healer / tent preacher came out. And I was giving speeches last night. That I know that's where it came from. You need to rise up and you need to walk like a man and you need to prove your worth and you need to prove you have honor and integrity. And I'm like, whoa. I listened to more of those speeches than I thought I did. And you gotta prove you can support your woman. Are you a man that can stand up and support your woman? Are you a man who walks in faith? Do you keep your word? Can you hold your head up high? And all the other guys are like, this is really getting into this. This is good. Can we have popcorn? Can we like make an event out of this? And I absolutely lambasted all the Norse gods for all the trouble. And Odin apparently has never faced that preacher mode, so his eye was just big and round, and he had this shocked look on his face. I'm like, don't you pull All-Father on me. Don't you dare pull All-Father on me. You listen to who you are. You are one god of many, and Loki's back here. Power in the blood, honey. Power in the blood. it came out. So my Southern Baptist preacher / faith healer / miracle worker came out. I was seriously considering going to whatever that is where they handle the snakes as faith in God. I thought if I just found the right flavor of Christianity, every so often it comes out. I will find a Bible and I will preach you the word of God and you will learn how to walk as a righteous man. He's like, I'm so terribly sorry. And I was like, yep. Yep, I was paying attention. That was amazing. It's amazing. You mentioned the Bible, and all the gods are just like. And of course, who shows up this morning but Jesus? Because this is the crazy house where everything's made up in my head, apparently. But he's like, you know, you have to forgive them, and that was a very impressive sermon last night. I'm like, well, thank you. But I was mad this morning. But then I thought about it. I've been reading a lot of heathen articles, and I thought about, because remember, I studied the Bible front, back, sideways. I studied all the, Christian theology I could get my hands on. I wanted to know what was wrong with me. And I had to attack this with actual theology, not made up woo theology that's popular in heathenry. I know I'm going to get so much love. And just to differentiate themselves from Christian, that's why a lot of heathens are being ass-cons right now. If Christians forgive people, well, heathens don't forgive people. If Christians love everyone, and I don't know a Christian that does, but if they supposedly love everyone, we only have to love a select few and so forth and so on. And we have these things handed to us, and sometimes we don't even question them because, yeah, those stupid people loving everyone, those stupid people forgiving everyone. Odin fucked up. Odin needed forgiveness, and he needed forgiveness big time because he lied. Now remember, he's a trickster. Jehovah's also a trickster. Most of our gods are tricksters, come to think of it. And I was remembering how, when he first met his people, throw away the story of the Garden of Eden, when he first met his people, again, let's say, he was totally fine not having a temple. They could put up some stakes if they wanted and throw some, material over it. And they could put a tiny thing up if they wanted, but he didn't even want that. But if they insisted, he'd take it. And he somehow went from that to magnificent temples to trying to take over the entire world because of who he is. And my gods knew I was 20 seconds away from Christian Jesus last night. I was like, I can walk up to that church and I can pound on the door. So terribly sorry. No, I don't think you are sorry. I think you think you're going to walk all over me like you always do. So I don't know where that came from. One thing I can tell you about Odin is letting him have his way all the time is not good for him. He will feed on what you think of him, and if you see him as this powerful, majestic god that always gets his way, he will feed into that, and he will do that. If you get fed up and you yell at him, he'll just kind of be like, Loki, for his part, Loki was just kind of off in the corner. Loki, of course, immediately ran over and was doing the cutes last night. He immediately got in there because he's smart. He ran over in a little tiny fox form. And he had his ears in his hands, and this was done to be cute. Look, they took my ears off. Look, they took my tail off, and they took some other things off, too, I won't mention. They did all this to me. Look what they did. He was being cute and adorable and friendly. So Loki got forgiven immediately, even though I'm kind of mad at him today. And Odin doesn't have the good sense to be cute. He has the stupid sense to be defiant. And that's kind of a trickster trait. Sometimes they're very cute, they're smart, and they play their cards right. And sometimes they're utterly defiant, and they're not going to apologize to you. You apologize to them. They're the god. Our gods can do wrong things. Any god from anywhere, I don't care if it's a Christian god or it's our gods or it's whatever god, will walk all over you at times and push and push and push and push. Now Odin, for his part, because he's in a snit, took any creativity away from me, so I won't be filming, and it's fine because it's freezing outside. I'm not going out there. And that's how he's getting back at me, which is fine because I needed to get some housework done. So I got the altar cleaned. I, did my floor in here, did the floor in there. I went and I got some laundry done. I needed time to do that stuff, not just be doing Odin stuff. The gods understand I have health issues, and they understand that this house is not a pigsty. I keep it clean, but it's not like, those people who clean their house every single day and they're on some show and they're like talking about how they clean for 4 hours a day. I'm not that person. So a lot of stuff went on. And I told them I do not appreciate the pressure. I said there's a huge amount of pressure to perform on YouTube. If you ever get a channel, you'll understand what I mean. You have to not only be your best, but you have to be better than your previous best every single day. If every single video I do doesn't outperform the last one, I plummet. If I stop getting likes, I plummet. If you stop getting comments, you plummet. And that's a double-edged sword because I try to make an executive decision of who's going to comment thoughtfully and who's just here to jerk my chain. Who actually wants to have a serious conversation on Loki or the Norse gods or religion or whatever, and who just wants to scream that I have to do it their way and I'm a bad person because I'm not doing it their way. I've had enough of being the bad person. I was raised Catholic. I got told how bad I was continually by the church, by my family, by my community. I've had enough of that. It's not going to be on this channel. I heard Becker, your Southern preacher's coming out. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of being told I'm sinful or bad or fallen or anything, and I don't believe in any of that. But I do believe I tend to be a pushover because I was raised Catholic, and when you're raised Catholic, you're bad, don't question God. And the gods will take advantage of that. They will. And the only thing that saved the Norse gods, or any of the gods, well, Lysanta wasn't being bad. She was being a good girl. Yeah, she's being a good girl. Was that Jesus intervened. And I'm like, this house makes a lot of sense. We got everybody from everywhere, but it feels more balanced now. And I told them no one's been wanting to have a serious discussion of, we all go through tough times. But why Sometimes don't God step up more immediately during our tough times? You know what I mean? We've all read about miracles, usually from the Christian gods, and we've all had good experiences with our own God. But why don't our gods step up more immediately? And we had to have that discussion. I've noticed they can do stuff when they want to, like Loki was playing with the alarm clock last night. But stuff that you feel serious, or stuff that makes you worry, it seems like there's no action on it at all. And you have to have that conversation with your gods. If you're worried about putting food on the table, or having money in the bank, or not being homeless, or not dying of a terminal disease or something else, you do have to have that discussion with your God. You're not expected to just keep your head down and accept whatever fate deals you. Now there'll be some people tell you, yeah, you are. That's how dare you question the gods. Because the gods need us. Not in the sense of the gods were in constant turmoil before we came along, but in the sense that if they didn't need us, we wouldn't be here. I might believe in evolution and everything else, but I still believe in our gods. And if they didn't need us, they wouldn't be bothering with us, and they wouldn't do things for us. So they need that companionship. They need that love. And I get that they're ambitious, and I get that they're not perfect. There's nothing like learning that no God is perfect, and that there was never one magical do-everything God, that God was a very sneaky God that snuck down out of the mountains and was like, yeah, I'm the only God. I'm an orphan. I've always existed, and I did everything. All those other gods are lying. Those are false gods. I have a feeling that priests have always drank and drank heavily, because when you deal with the gods on a daily basis, they will drive you insane. I said on Patreon, I've reached points of screaming at these gods because you're trying to do the work that they set before you. You're trying to do the work of the gods. And they're also demanding something else at the same time. I'm pretty sure ancient prayer has never been shut up, sit down, but it has come up. And more recently, because, as YouTube's pulling on me to be perfect, and Patreon's pulling on me to do all this other stuff, and you have people having unrealistic expectations of you being able to read their mind and make the video exactly what they want, it can be a lot of stress. It can be a tremendous amount of stress. And then you go and you look at the news, and that's it. That's the final icing on the cake. And I think people don't realize that, just because you're on YouTube, I'm not rich. If I was rich, I wouldn't be on, healthcare assistance and stuff like that. And I can't just pull stuff out of nowhere, like people think you can. And that can get very tough because a lot of people have unrealistic expectations. And I'm sure they don't just do it to YouTubers. I'm sure they do it to everybody in their life. And it has nothing to do with age. We've all known people that if you can't do something, if you can't pull the impossible out of nowhere, you're a failure in their eyes, and they don't hesitate to tell you. You don't need people like that in your life. Cut them out. I know it's sometimes hard, especially if they're family, but you do what you do. If you, as I've said before, if you can't avoid contact, treat them like a contaminated substance and have as little to do with them as possible. So, it's been intense for the last year or so, and Loki's very much, his little fox ears are back, and he's very remorseful. I don't think sometimes our gods have very good self-control, and I think if they see an opportunity to take something for themselves, they will. They've never really faced a challenge like this before in their existence, where every human could know of every god in existence, and every god could be calling to that human, and the human be like, which one am I supposed to serve? And in Wicca, at least, we have this thing about finding the perfect god to take care of you. Back in my day, Wicca was a lot more sunny. It's now mega depressed, but it was a lot more sunny. And if you found that one right god, the one perfect god for you, and the one perfect goddess for you, everything would start going right in your life. You would see your wealth increase. You would move into a nicer home. I don't know where we came up with this, but we did. We burned a lot of incense back then. That's all I can say. You would have everything perfect. Your wealth would increase, your health would increase, everything would get better for you. It's the same exact thing the Christians promise, by the way, that if you're a faithful servant of God, everything will go well. and then it doesn't, and we don't have any explanation to give people except, it's a challenge to see what you'll do with your faith. Well, that's not fair. Apollo wasn't mad at all. He said, it was a human against a god. It wasn't even a contest. He said, of course he could just work his will on you and just push you over, and you would do his will. He said, you're not built to withstand us. We're not stupid. And I just smiled. And he smiled too. He says, you ever think the gods stack stuff evenly in the favor of humans? He says, no, of course not. We're not going to do that. We're not stupid. That's why Jehovah won't give you his real name. He's not stupid. Because at the time, the gods that they felt were giving the real name, and I don't think any of them were that dumb, could be called down and bound by that name. Which is why you don't give, if you're God, you don't give your real name out, you give a false name. Odin's really good for that. I don't think we have any of their real names. I think they're way smarter than that. But that is what it is. So I know we don't have a channel left, but I figured I'd make this, and I'm just like, it's a tremendous amount of stress to be put through when your gods are clashing, and you have YouTube on your back, and you have Patreon on your back. And I appreciate the Patreon supporters, by the way, and I appreciate the viewers. You're not the ones doing it. It's the platforms themselves asking the impossible out of us. Why aren't we all making $1 million and getting 1 million views per video? Because I'm a really niche channel, and I'm a niche out of that niche. I'm super niche. Super niche. And if I get 25 views, I consider that lucky. I consider that well done for a video. So I know the channel is pretty much over because I don't handle stress well, but I figured I'd make you guys a video anyhow. I don't know if we'll have any more music videos. It is currently in maybe 30. It's thinking about being 30, but I think it's gone back down to the 20s. And I know I'm a perfectionist, so I don't know. We'll see. I might get inspiration and go out. I might not, but we'll see. And I don't know about the VR either. I'm just really tired right now, and it's so much pressure from YouTube to constantly perform. And the only thing that do moderately well are these videos, and sometimes these videos don't do well at all either. I'm honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm ready to give up at this point. Because YouTube has unrealistic expectations, and I'm just done with that. So, I will try. Don't cancel your patronage yet. I will try, but I think I need to take some time to think of whether or not it's worth going forward, because I want to have a channel where people can have a serious discussion. Not a channel where people can take over, not a channel where people get pissed off because they get put on timeout because they're just adding to my list of drama. I don't know, guys. But I will see you later. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.